Hey everyone, today I'm gonna finally do a video on how I update Aura. It's not gonna be a very exciting video, but you've been asking for it and I've been wanting to do it for a while. So let's get to it. So the first thing would be how to determine that Aura even needs an update, I guess. So what that would look like is that you first update the client to the latest version, and then you just log into your Aura server. I've already done the update, and now I'm just gonna see if we need to update Aura. That's usually pretty simple to spot, as you're gonna see in a second. I try to log in and I'm naked. Sometimes you won't be naked, but you can't move, or maybe you can't log in at all and you're stuck on the loading screen. And as you can see, I can't move. And if I go to the channel server, I'm gonna also see a warning that a client is presumably not up to date. Incompatible with the client or something. You know what I mean. So yeah, we can't do anything. I think we can't log out either. Yeah, I'm gonna just kill the client. And then we're gonna see what we can do about that. So when we have determined that the client is outdated, we need a log of the login process. So what I usually do is I open Morrigan and Pale and just log the entire login and logout process. So just as you can see here, client ident login, just a full login, and when I'm all logged in, I just log out again. That gives me all the, or most of the important packets that we need to update Aura, like the channel character info. And we also get the disconnect request opcode, which we will need to see if the opcode's changed. There are a lot of opcodes that could change, but when this one does, it's usually a good indicator that others have changed as well. So now that we have that log, which I got before making this video, we can go to the creature info method. And this is what we're gonna have to update. The problem is, how do you know where this has changed? Like in any spot there could be a new variable here, or something could have been removed, or a type might have changed. And updating this is just a very tedious process, though you do get used to it. Though when you do it for the first few times, it just kinda takes forever. What I do is I just open those two up side by side and just go through them. So we have a long, a byte, a string, another string, and another string, and an integer, and a byte, and a short. And I'm not going to do this in this speed the whole time now, so what I do is scroll in this window, and I use the keyboard in this window to keep track of where I am. And I'm just going to do that now, and you can sit there and watch and maybe skip ahead or something. So long byte, string, 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 int, byte, short, byte, byte, int, float, float, float. As you can see, this one here, this only applies to public packets, but we have a private, this is the private one, so I have to skip everything that's public and include things that are private. Okay, so where were we? Float. Yeah. Int, byte, int, float, string, byte, short, int, and the first private section, which is maybe the most annoying part because of all the same variable types. Float. Short. Int, short, long, short. Int. Float. And it's always important to, when you have just such a bunch of shorts, for example, it's important to make sure you are still on the right track when you get to something that's not a short. Like those two floats, for example. And then we have two shorts again, a float, a short, float. Short. Long, int, short, float. And those changes in the type are also a good moment to scroll the two windows ahead. You might be wondering why there isn't a tool to do this. We've been thinking about that in the past, creating a tool for this, but the problem is that you never know what changes, where it changes, how it changes. And honestly, I don't trust myself to write a tool that can do that better than I can do it myself, because I need to see what's happening in there. And I don't know if a tool might not skip something accidentally even, and I would never know about it. Or learn about it when everything fails and I have to check what happened there. And that's why I've been doing this for 6 years, regularly. Oh well. Short. Oh, was that right? Yeah. Float 0.5. Float, string. Did I make a mistake? Go back. Yeah. We're still on the right track. Though I guess what you could do is write a tool that, well, basically does what I do here. Just go through them one by one and tell you when there is a difference, like visually, so you can follow it along. That might be an idea. So here we have our first list. Yeah, we have a count as the integer here, which is 4. So we know there's going to be 4 regens, regeneration information. And well, I already know what a regen looks like, so I could just go int float, int byte float byte int. But I'm going to show you what you might do when you don't know that. So you would go into this region. You would see you need 4 of these. So you have an int, a float, int, byte, float, byte. And you know you're gonna need this 4 times, so you would just go through it 4 times. And the last one, int, float, int, byte, float, byte. And then you would come out at a short. So you would go back. This is public, and you would end on this short, the selected title. So that's still alright as well. Then you have the long with the when the title was applied. And now in private you have a list of shorts. These are right here, short, byte, long. And you have 63 of them. Short, byte, long, short, byte, long. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Short, byte, long, short, byte, 9. I mean, no. Short, byte, long. And then we have short, long. So right after this we have a private short. This is minimal, this is private. There's long. Then string, long, short. This is public. Byte. And now we have the inventory. The, I think, longest part of the packet. So we have the int, that's the width, the height, and then the number of packets. So now we're gonna have this 176 times. Just like with the region, I already know what the item looks like, and I'm not gonna go in there again. But you would possibly have to do that, though the item segments are pretty easy to recognize. It's basically just it starts with a long and ends with a long. The start is the item entity ID, and the last long is the owner's entity ID, or at least that's what I believe this value is. So I assume that the items haven't changed too much, or I mean not at all, because they rarely do. So I'm gonna skip this for now and see if we can find any other differences. And if we don't, then I would come back here and take another look at the item information. So after the items come the keywords, which are just 217 shorts. Then come the skills right here, which are 201 bins, which means binary information. And then we have a list of 3. The skill var buffer list, which are just ints and floats. And then we come out here at the byte and the int and the byte and the string. And then come the PvP information, which I don't have memorized. So we're gonna go in there. Byte, int, byte, int, byte, 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 long, int, byte, int, and we come out at a byte, this one. Byte, then come the conditions, which you can see is an int here. That's because I don't have any conditions right now, so the list is empty, and I'm just gonna ignore that because it's unlikely that they have changed anyway. So then we have a long, the long for the guild, and a string and an int. This only applies if I have a rope on, but as you can see, this is the actual values are the same whether I have one on or not. So I'm going to just go through this, byte, 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 int, byte, 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 and a string, which applies in both cases. Then we have the part-time job. Yeah, string. Long, another list. 7 times 3 shorts. Just gonna skip ahead. Because the next one is a long. Then a byte and a byte. And float, long, byte, short, short. Anyone bored yet? String, int, long, long, byte, byte, long, byte, long, long, byte. This is another one where they are both the same, but one has values and one has not. So then we have a long, this one, long, byte, 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 int, 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 long, int, and the list of passengers, which is 0. Int, long, long, int, byte, right. It's all right. Long, int, byte, byte, long for private, byte, byte, string, byte, short, short, and an int for jousting. Then the private part, not the public one. Int, byte, 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 short, 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 short. And we come out at an int, which is the achievements. And the list of achievements, which are just shorts. Then int, long, int. This is public and only applies to NPCs, so we don't care about that right now. Sometimes you do have to also do this for the public packets or for the NPCs, because those values, as you might have guessed, are not always the same. I mean the list of values in the creature info packet. Where was I? Int. No. Right. We skip this. We go to byte, long, float. This is public, and we have the private talent info. Starting with a short byte. Those are the ints, and it ends with a byte and then goes to a short. Right, this is the list of the titles. 17 shorts. And then we have the Shamala transformation information. Int byte byte, int byte byte, int byte byte, int byte byte. Just 44 times. Isn't that fun? And then this is public, this is private, 2 ints, int, long, long, string, byte, int. And this one tripped me up when it came up the first time, because it looks like a list, but no matter what this count says, this is just always there. So it's probably not a list. I don't know. long int, 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 long int. Yes. That's public, that's public, that's public, that's public, and that's public, and we come out at a 0 byte. When you do these for the first time, it's relatively common to accidentally go into a public or a minimal or something, and then you're going to be really confused and think something has changed, but it didn't, and you really have to pay attention when you go through these. So finally we come to a spot I really like, long int int, because when you get here, you know this -1 it's always -1, and when you reach that point, you know you are halfway there and you've gotten there without changes. This is the last part of public, and now we get to one of the last private sections. And we have an int. Wait, did I skip something? -1 public private. Alright, we have a difference, I think. I'm seeing 2 ints in the log, but not in Aura. This is all public. Skip ahead and see what these bytes look like. Byte. I'm expecting a long here. Huh. Okay, something has obviously changed here. What I see is sequence int byte int int, which I know happens down here. So let's go up from here and see whether we can figure out what changed. So we have a byte, 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 and 2 ints, okay, which are probably these ones. So it looks like this section here has, no, this entire section here has disappeared. Or not. I think I made a mistake just after telling you about it. Okay, let's go through this again. So we have 2 -1s here. That's because this -1 is this one for the current equip set. So let's track back. I think this is the right -1, and I used the wrong one accidentally. So we had an int, a long, a byte. Yeah, this looks correct. Okay, let's do this from here again. Okay, byte, byte, long string, byte, byte, yeah, long int, 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 byte, 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 int. Yes, byte, int. And now we have the quest list. I'm actually surprised we were naked, because when you make it to the quest list, you usually just get messed up quests and not a naked character that can't move. So I hope nothing has changed in the items. Int, yes, 94 quests. And these are a little more involved, so we're gonna go in there. Even though they rarely change, but I rather make sure at least for one quest. So we have a byte long, byte, integer, three strings, int, byte, 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 three integers, a string, two integers, two strings. Now the quest type. These information are different based on the type, but usually the first quest you're gonna encounter here will be the default bracket, which is just two integers, and then we come to the objectives. And this is really a little confusing when you do it for the first time, especially the rewards. So when you start to do this, you're basically gonna learn a lot about the packets and how they're structured. So we have two objectives, which is byte, string, int, float, byte, byte, and if this byte is 1, then you're also gonna have the read information which it uses to show you where to go for that objective. But we don't have that here, and then we get to the rewards. No, we don't. Wait, we had two objectives, so we're gonna have this one again. Byte, string, int, float, byte, byte. And then we have one reward group, because we can have multiple reward groups. And the first group has the ID 0 in a byte, then another byte and a byte and a byte, and here we have the actual rewards in the group, starting two of which starting with a byte, then we string, byte, byte, and we have two of these, so another one, byte, string, byte, and we come out at a byte. So the quest looks good. We go back to the creature info, and now I'm gonna count the bytes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because when I skip ahead, because I don't want to do this for every quest, I can count these here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come out at a byte. And I'm a little concerned that we haven't found a difference yet. Well, long, string, byte, long, int, yes, long, byte, int, long, int, byte. No differences, and the only thing we skipped were the items. So I guess the difference must be there. Add item info. So long byte. This is another one where you have public and private information, and the 2 stands for private. So yeah, long byte binary. Then we have private, another binary. Skip because it's probably not an ego weapon. String. The number of upgrades, which is 0. Then long. Not a guild drop, so byte. And a long. Now I'm confused. When I'm naked and can't move, the only thing that might have caused this is this packet. So what I'm gonna do is recompile Aura first of all, in case I've missed anything. Maybe I forgot to compile at some point. I'm gonna start the client and just make sure I really can't move. Wouldn't it be funny if I went through all that, showed you all that, and then nothing changed? Though this has happened before that I missed something somewhere. I was going too fast and missed just one value somewhere. No, I'm still naked. Okay. Yeah, this basically means I'm gonna have to go through that again. Though I really wonder where I might have missed something. Though I did try to narrate it a little, maybe that was it. So I'm gonna be a little quieter this time. There it is. Float, 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 not string. There we go. Okay, just gonna copy this in front of the string. We are in 2301 NA 306 2019 August, Saturday, 3 days ago would be the 14th. And now it should make sense. Float, string, short, short. Okay, that's the kind of change I expected from being naked and not being able to move. Alright, since we went through the entire rest of the packet and quote unquote didn't find any other changes, I'm gonna compile this, start Aura, and then we're gonna see if that was it, which it probably was. Though I wonder what this float is. It comes after the toxic value, so maybe a new kind of toxic? I guess we're gonna find out at some point in 20 years when we've reached G23. All right, that looks good. What is happening? That was weird. Okay. So first of all, that was not where I logged out. I don't know what happened there. And we have a few unhandled packets here. So I assume some opcodes have changed, and that's why the server sent something to the client which made me go to the Homestead. But it didn't send all packets because I can't get out. That's not good. Let's walk to Dunbarton. Okay, so when I was somewhere I didn't log out, I already assumed maybe they've changed the region files and the coordinates changed or something, but now I can't move. And there's no errors. Oh, that's probably because of the Homestead. Okay, so we have to fix these opcodes. So we're gonna go to the ops and see that we have an unhandled packet AA1. which is here somewhere. So AAA1 could be this one, but changed by 2. We also have an unhandled AC9B. AC9B, which would be the unknown login request. Yeah, I think a few ops have shifted by 2, which we can confirm by looking at the disconnect opcodes. Like I said in the beginning, that's why I always log a full login and logout, because this is the disconnect request, not this one, even though it's, I mean, this is the disconnect request, but the DC unknown is this one, and it also has shifted by 2, because it's AC44 and not AC42 anymore. But we also saw that here in the channel server we have the unhandled AC9B, which is presumably the unknown login request. So the shift didn't stop here at DC unknown, and it went further. And now it's our job to figure out where the shift started and where it ended. So we know it at least went until here, but where might it have started? We know AAA1 shifted by 2. That's, where is it? Here it is. Scrapbook list request. And we know the Homestead packets acted a little weird, so these have probably shifted as well. These would be in the AA5 to 8 range. Yeah, here we see AA9D, that's the unknown request. Nothing in the Homestead range, so that could also mean that, right, the Homestead packet didn't went unhandled. It obviously was handled incorrectly and sent us to the Homestead. So we might have received, right, we received the info request by the client, but it was shifted by 2, which made it the enter request, and that's why we were warped in. But then we didn't get the correct UI information and stuff. Opcode back to the client. So far so good. I would say let's start with the Homestead packs for now, so we can properly log in and then figure out the rest. So we're just going to shift everything by 2 for now, which makes this 6, this 7, 8, 9, 10, which is A in hex, B, D, E, F, 60, 61, 62, R, 64, 65, 6, 9, 11. No. A. B, C, D, E, not F, but 70, 71, 72, 73. Wait, when have I started shifting by 1? D, E, F, 2, 3. That was that, and it continues. Almost there. Sorry for being quiet, but I do have to concentrate a little with the hex numbers. This is 70, and finally we have AC9B. 8B, yes, and 9C. Actually, I'm seeing another unhandled one in the 8D range, no, two actually, 84A, which would probably be the studies unknown, and 85C, which is this one. Okay, we're not done yet. AB, 67, 9A, AB, D. Okay. Restart the servers after recompiling them. And it's already been almost an hour. It doesn't always take this long. It helps if you don't make mistakes. And sometimes the opcodes don't change, that's helpful as well. I can move, that's good, though I still wonder why I logged out there. That doesn't make any sense. Let's wait a moment to see if we are warped to the Homestead again. Though it looks good. And I also have received the information, so we should be good there. Let's warp to Dunbarton again. I can still move, so that was probably the Homestead. So now we can see if anything else doesn't work. So we can open the character info window, and I don't get any unhandled packets. I have my inventory, that's good. I have quests, and the quests look correct. I have the indications where the quests are. I can change stances, change equipment. I can talk to NPCs. I can shop. Yes. So at this point, it seems like everything's working. Not supported yet. Not supported yet. That's good. That means we updated these two ups correctly. I can speak. Okay, let's see if I can fight. Preferably with skills. I haven't updated my data mods yet. Uh-oh. I got an unhandled packet. So I can't use skills, or what was that? Six, 9, 8, 4. That is... I don't know what that is. It should have been the skill prepare packet. Where's that? Here. Huh. Oh, not A4, 8-4. Okay. So this one shifted by 2. But I don't think that everything has shifted by 2 starting here. That would be unusual. There's too much coming in between there. And they don't go all in sequence. Also, I was able to buy something, so those couldn't have shifted. I could also change my stance. I should check if I can sit down. Yeah, so I guess first of all I gotta enter the game again. And start shifting at skill prepare. So this would be 4, this 5, this am I missing something here? Okay. This is 8 and 9 and A. I would say let's just update the use and start ops for now and see what we get. This would be D. Yeah, the silent cancels out as well. E, F, 81. No. 91. 92. And well, we can already see that we have a few overlaps here, so let's update these two as well. And then test it. So this is a pretty annoying op change because it's hard to tell where in this bunch of skill ops it starts and where it ends. Although we could take a look at the official opcode list, which would make it a little easier. Because then we can see where the areas of the ops start and end. Because like I said, they don't go in sequence. But there are gaps. Actually, I don't even need to summon a monster yet. We can just see that I can use and cancel skills now. I can also sit down, which means that the shifting didn't go till the sit down opcodes. So let's try this again. Whoops. Hit me. There we go. Okay, fighting works. That means we can now take a look at the other ops in this area and see where it might have ended. I can see the fishing action here. Also the skill advance ops. So let's try advancing a skill. Defense became D, that's correct. So advancing works. And that also means that the response to advance works. So the shift must have been somewhere here. 23010 NA 306 2019 August 14 it was. Skill prepare and at least until stack update, presumably shifted by 2. Yeah, checking fishing would probably be the quickest way to see if it changed past there. So let's go to tier. And just try to fish. Here. I think I had a rod somewhere at some point. I had a fishing rod, I think, yes. What was it, kite and bait or something? Bait tin, was that it? Yeah, that looks good. So the ops we're looking for are the action required and action ones. So that would be when I actually catch something. So we're gonna have to wait a moment. I guess while doing that, I could add this comment down here as well. I didn't pay attention to the subscription meter while fighting. That would tell us if these have changed as well. But we can do that in a bit again. So Homestead build request until unknown achievement crystal requests have changed definitely. We should also check Homestead lease. In case you've ever wondered why I add these comments about what has changed, I guess it's at this point they aren't all that useful anymore. I mean, all these changes, it would be pretty annoying to roll them back, but that was the original idea when we didn't regions of Mabinogi anymore. The idea was to still keep track of the changes. Oh, I see something in the fishing. Let me finish my thought. The idea was to still keep track of those changes so that we could go back to supporting multiple versions and everything, but I think at this point we're probably not going to do that anymore, but I still keep adding the comments because I've always done that. So what happened here is that I did get the system message that something's biting, but I didn't actually get the play window, which would suggest, I think, that I have a mod active. Okay, if that came from the mod but the mod would be outdated. Okay, I'm gonna have to disable the mod to make sure that I get the normal play window. So let me do that real quick. That's another thing. When you do these tests, you probably shouldn't use mods, and ideally not the dev title as well, because they might interfere with what you expect to see. And okay, so mods are disabled. Let's restart the client. This was necessary now because if the mod sends the outdated packets to Aura, which is also outdated, Aura would handle it correctly, even though the opcodes should be outdated. Updated. So I needed to test this without mod. Though the channel server didn't... Yeah, no, of course it didn't show anything. Fishing. And now we have to wait again. So where were we? Until unknown crystal request. The Homestead lease might have changed as well. So I think we're gonna have to check that. Though I don't remember how that worked, that's a problem. The stability meter might have changed and enter rebirth. Family tree open, that we can easily check, I think. Where is that? Family tree. Not supported yet. Okay, that's the response I expected, so that has not changed. I can try entering rebirth after I'm done fishing. And that's gonna tell us if that has changed. And I'm just realizing that I gotta go. I didn't expect this to take so long. Okay. Hopefully we're on the finishing line. If I could just finally catch something. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I think the op needs to be updated. Here. Okay, so the minigame would be 8. The fishing required. Huh. The required packet is the first one sent, isn't it? No, I can't get out of the blacksmith minigame. I want to lock that so that... Oops. Wrong pail. I want to lock that so I can see which packets are being sent. So let's fish once more. So we confirmed that... Oh, there it is. Fishing action required 699A is being sent. Wait, what? Why am I getting the blacksmithing minigame? Um, okay, so this is this should be the action required, and it is. I'm getting the blacksmith minigame, which is 8. Those are 2 apart. Right, yeah, no. That makes perfect sense. Those 2 are 2 apart, so I'm sending the action required, and instead it understands blacksmith minigame. Yeah, of course. So let's update these. 9A C. This one probably as well is a D. Now we can already see another overlap here, so these are probably gonna need updates too. That's E and F, and more overlap. So this would be A0, A1, here we have use motion that we can test easily. Motions. What uses motions? Gestures, right? Yeah. Use motion is working. Okay, so it didn't go here. Set skill enabled and reset cooldown. I can't think of an easy way to check these right now, although maybe Paladin? Because it would enable these skills. It sends skill enabled, but since they aren't enabled, I assume that this one shifted as well. Going back up here, skill training up. Should be checked as well. So let's get hit by an enemy in defense to see if we get the training XP up packet. No. Let's use a wolf for that. Wrong skill body. Yeah. We do get the skill XP the training up packet. Or at least I think that was it. (697C). There it is. Yeah, so that worked. So we were able to advance the skill. Okay, so oh, I already tested that. Okay, sorry, we already confirmed that it started here. Then these are very close together, so I assume that this one changed it as well. If not, someone is gonna tell me. And now we're just gonna have to see if this down here is correct. Now I forgot to check the stability meter again. So let's do that. Seems to be working. So this update looks correct as well. We could check the Homestead lease, though I don't remember how that worked. You just went up ahead to your house, didn't you? But this is just upgrading. Oops. We don't support leases anyway, so I'm going to just ignore that for now. I don't know if it updated or not. Let's make a note of that and just finally finish this. We can try dropping an item while we're at it. And I'm gonna have to pause. Great. So I just had to go to the door real quick. Yeah, so now that we have ignored the homestead and have confirmed that it starts there, we are basically done for now. We can try using an item. I already did that. Okay, so the updating source part looks good. And with that, we're actually done here for now. And the other part to updating is then MabiConf, which I've already prepared. I have extracted the latest data. I've confirmed that the features XML is still this version. When you update with MaviConf, don't forget to extract the features XML, because back when this was written we didn't have code to properly parse the compiled XML yet. But I'm just gonna start this, and if it goes through without errors, then we will be done. Though of course this is gonna take a moment. If you're not familiar with MaviConf yet, it's basically just a converter for the client and server data, which basically puts together the JSON data files that Aura is working with. So we don't have to do that by hand. I guess while we're at it, while it's doing that, we could take a look another look at our changes. It is funny that I missed a value just after telling you about that. This is looking good. No errors, no exceptions. Take a quick look at the things that MaviConf did. This usually don't have to worry about. With a few new chairs, character styles, Homestead stuff. I'm not really going through these to see what has changed, but I basically want to see what MaviConf did. Oh, 2 motions disappeared. I find that weird. But I don't have time to check that out right now. I'm just gonna assume that's correct. It's also possible that they added a local check or a version check or something to disable them in NA. A few new pets, props, races. Whoa, a lot of changes. What happened here? Apparently something about pets has changed quite a bit. I would guess it's the new interaction thing. Yeah, that would... adding that to all those pets would create a lot of changes. Then we have skills. Huh. Blessing is faster now. Skill learning for the pets. age ups for the pets, level ups and titles. Well, that looks all good to me. What I did forget is updating the region information. For that we have Reaper. I know the name is a little weird, but it is pronounced Reaper. And I'm just gonna generate the region info that. Before you do this, you need to disable your data mods, because Reaper sometimes has problems with modified package files. So it's better if you just let it run on a clean client or a clean set of package files. If you use a data folder, that's not a problem, but you gotta make sure that the package files are clean. Alright, and there have been changes. Okay, now I'm gonna just do update tit to NA306. Sorry, and that's that. Sync. And now I'm just gonna have to spend a few minutes to write a project log. In case you're wondering, they added this pet interaction thing. I did log that while I was on an A earlier, and I didn't see any new packets at that time, so I assume that that's client-sided and probably doesn't require any additions in packets or opcodes. But yeah, that's that for now. And I'm sure you can't wait to do this yourself. And believe me, it's gonna take twice as long when you do it for the first time. Fun stuff. Well, see you later.